Okay, so we're going to try to make our own acid in the lab today. Okay, so what we're going to use for this is we're going to use some sulfur. So heat some sulfur and dip a stick so that I can burn it easily. So that yellow substance at the end of the stick is sulfur. I have it's called a gas bottle, and in the bottom I have some water, and the water is going to make it so that I can react the gas I'm going to produce here. So we talked about when we're making acid, we need to burn a non-metal and we make an oxide out of it. Okay, so if we take this non-metal sulfur and we burn it in oxygen to make an oxide, then we should be able to take that gas and mix it with the water to make an acid. Okay, so you want to make some descriptions of your sulfur before we start. And we also want to have some a good description of the sulfur as it's burning. Okay, so I'll move in closer here so we can see. So hopefully, okay, so we got quite a bit of gas there, and so you should be thinking about what gas that would be if we burned sulfur and oxygen, right? It's one of those synthesis reactions. So we can slip this out, and we have our gas trapped in there. And so we're gonna mix that gas with the water in the bottom. And a little bit of my stick dropped off, but that's okay. So it's pretty hard to mix the liquid and the gas together. You just keep shaking it around. The water is inevitably going to mix and react with the gas. So we need those particles to collide together and make a reaction happen. Okay, so we've poured our acid out into the beaker so that we can test it. So you can see in the beaker that it's kind of a brownish liquid. It's still fairly clear. You can definitely see it doesn't look like water anymore. Okay, so you can make that observation. And what we're going to do is we're going to test it with 3 of the substances that we know the acids react with. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll put it in a spot plate. So we're going to put it in 3 different spots in our spot plate. Okay, so we have our acid that we made there, and what we're going to do is we're going to test it with blue litmus paper, and we'll see what happens. So we'll let that soak in. We'll put our magnesium in, and we're going to put a little bit of baking soda in there. I'm just going to get a scoop. Soda in, and hopefully we can see a little better what has happened with each one. Okay, so you can definitely see the color change in the litmus paper. Let's take a better look. We'll push the magnesium down and take a better look. We can see the little bubbles forming. And then we can see the leftover bubbles here because this one reacted right away. So give it a little stir. We can see that the baking soda and our substance reacted. We can see it bubbling a little more now that I just stirred it around a bit. Okay, so that tells us of whether we were successful in making an acid or not.